Listen, I already do our accounting and marketing and sales and operations and IT. And now you want to add HR to my list? Hi entrepreneurs, I'm Vicky Brown, and you're in the right place if you want to engage your team, boost your business, and grow your leadership muscle. HR compliance. I know it sounds dry and bureaucratic because you're focused on growing your business. Listen, I know the legal stuff can feel like a massive distraction when you're in the middle of building your dream. But here's the truth. HR compliance isn't just about administrative hoops to jump through. It's actually about protecting the business that you've worked so hard to build. So, why does HR compliance even matter? Well, first and foremost, it keeps you out of hot water. I've seen too many small business owners hit with unexpected fines, lawsuits, and employee disputes that could have been easily avoided with some basic compliance pieces in place. And the absolute most common mistake I see small business owners make is thinking they're too small to worry about it. But here's the reality. Employment laws apply whether you have one employee or 1,000. And in spite of what you might think, the government doesn't give you a pass just because you're small. The second biggest mistake? Waiting until there's a problem to figure out what you should have been doing all along. By then, it's often too late, and you're playing defense instead of offense. Actually, beyond just avoiding trouble, good HR compliance helps you build a strong company where people want to work. When your team knows you're playing by the rules and protecting their rights, well, it creates trust. And as I've said countless times before, trust is the foundation of any high-performing team. Listen, before we dig into what you need to know and what you should have on your HR compliance checklist, I have to tell you, don't panic. You're not in this all by yourself. In fact, if you want some help, well, our membership programs will give you the tools, templates, and expert support you need to tackle any HR challenges head on. We've got the Simple Start Premier membership and our more comprehensive IDEO on Call. We've designed programs that will help you overcome obstacles as you grow your business. So just use the link in the description and let's get started. Now, first up, you need to understand the employment law landscape. Federal laws create the baseline, things like minimum wage, overtime rules, workplace safety, and anti-discrimination laws. But then states, and sometimes even cities, can add their own requirements on top of that. In California, where I'm based, we have significantly more employee protections than federal law requires. Same is true in places like New York and Washington and several other states. Again, don't panic. You don't need to become a legal expert overnight. But you do need to know which laws apply to your business based on where you operate and how many employees you have. Next, every business needs a comprehensive employee handbook. This isn't just a nice to have. It's your first line of defense if issues arise. Your handbook should clearly outline workplace policies, expectations, and procedures. And at minimum, it needs to include anti-discrimination and anti-harassment policies, leave policies, and a clear statement about at-will employment. And make sure your handbook covers remote work policies if that applies. With the massive shift to remote and hybrid work, having clear policies around expectations, equipment, cybersecurity, and work hours, well, that's essential. And don't forget to get written acknowledgement from every employee that they've received and agree to read the handbook. Now, another big deal area is properly classifying your employees. This is a major area where I see small businesses get into trouble. You need to correctly classify workers as either employees or independent contractors, and then further classify employees as exempt or non-exempt from overtime. Misclassifying employees as independent contractors to avoid payroll taxes or benefits, well, that can result in huge penalties. Similarly, Incorrectly classifying non-exempt employees as exempt to avoid paying overtime, well, that can lead to significant wage claims down the road. When it comes to hiring and onboarding, compliance starts before the employee even walks in the door. You need a standardized hiring process and one that makes sure you're not asking illegal interview questions or making decisions based on protected characteristics. Now, once you've made the hire, proper documentation is the thing. Every employee should have an I-9 form verifying their eligibility to work in the U.S., and it has to be completed within the first 3 days of employment. You should provide clear offer letters that outline employment terms and set up proper personnel files that separate confidential medical information from regular employment records. Payroll compliance is another massive area for small businesses. You have to comply with minimum wage laws, which can vary dramatically by location. You need to track and manage overtime correctly under the Fair Labor Standards Act, and you need to understand required paycheck deductions for taxes, garnishments, and benefits. Now, a lot of small business owners get tripped up on meal and rest breaks, especially in states with strict requirements like California. Make sure you know what's required in your location and that you have systems to track compliance. Benefits administration is another place where things can get really complex. Depending on your company's size, you may be required to offer health insurance under the Affordable Care Act. And if you have 20 or more employees, you need to offer COBRA continuation coverage when employees leave. Even if you're not required to offer benefits, if you do choose to do so, you need to administer them properly. This includes managing enrollment, tracking eligibility, and conducting regular audits to avoid errors. And then there's employee relations. It's another key compliance area. This piece includes conducting workplace harassment and anti-discrimination training, which is mandatory in many states now, and handling disciplinary actions and terminations, and doing it all legally. Now, when it comes to terminations, documentation is your best friend. Make sure you're documenting performance issues, having consistent conversations with employees about expectations, and following your own policies when it comes to progressive disciplining. Workplace safety compliance is also one that often gets overlooked. But OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, well, their requirements apply to most employers. You need to provide a safe work environment. You need to have required safety postings. And depending on your industry, you may need specific safety training and equipment. And don't forget workers' compensation insurance. It's mandatory in most states, even if you have just one employee. Make sure you have appropriate coverage and that you understand the process for handling workplace injuries. And one final area that trips up a lot of small businesses is managing leaves. You need clear policies for sick leave, vacation, family, medical, and medically related leave. Yeah, the Family Medical Leave Act does apply to most companies with 50 or more employees, but a lot of states have their own leave laws that apply to smaller employers too. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, but yes, there is more. That's why we did a part 2 for next week's episode. And this probably sounds overwhelming. Well, don't worry. The key is to eat the elephant one bite at a time. I'll put links in the description to some videos I did that dig deeper into some of these topics. And if you're still feeling a bit lost, well, keep in mind, we have something that might help. Check out the HR Simple Start membership. Whether you're looking for our Simple Start Premier with its bite-sized learning modules and monthly expert sessions, or our all-inclusive IDEO on Call membership that connects you directly with a dedicated HR professional. We have options designed to fit seamlessly into your business strategy and your budget. Just use the link below to explore how these resources can help you develop the exceptional team your business deserves. You see, HR compliance isn't just about checking boxes. It's about creating a foundation for your business to grow safely and sustainably. And that's something worth investing in. And remember, your inspired leadership is the secret sauce to having a high-performance team and a wildly successful business you'll love. I'll see you next time on Leader's Journey.